House, how people acted in a, I'll say, the people who were impeaching, or excuse me, the people who were defending Bill Clinton were not serious outside the camera and in the House Judiciary Committee. And here we have an impeachment that's been brought forward on two different charges, and we've watched as from the beginning, from clear back in November of 2016, this discussion about impeaching the President of the United States began. It began on November 9th, when the first Democrat stepped up and said, we are going to impeach this president. We had people that ran for office to get into this Congress that announced we're going to impeach I can't put those words into this congressional record, Mr. Speaker. So this has been a driven agenda, and it began as soon as the other side realized that Donald Trump was the duly elected and legitimate President of the United States. And there's two reasons that this impeachment has taken place here. One of them is because there's a deep, visceral hatred for Donald Trump among the hardcore left in this country that's driving the caucus on that side. And another reason is because the investigations that came about because of the weaponization of the executive branch of the United States, and I mean particularly the Department of Justice, within it the FBI, some of the State Department, much of the intelligence community, working together to surveil President Trump's campaign operations, and then as President-elect Donald Trump's, President-elect his inauguration activities and the communications before that, and their surveillance afterwards. And the circumstances that came about when James Comey took information that was proprietary and many say classified and leaked it to a professor at Columbia University with directions to leak it to the New York Times with the objective of creating a special counsel that needed to be Robert Mueller, who couldn't have been changed differently by then Attorney General Jeff Sessions because he had recused himself from Russia. This is the backdrop of this. Impeachment puts a cloud up in front of the activities that took place that should appall this nation at the highest and highest level. And so now what I ask, Mr. Speaker, is this, that let's get these articles of impeachment done in this House this week. Let's send them down across the rotunda to the United States Senate. Let's ask the Senate then, go ahead and work your will under your rules. But my ask is this, having lived through this as a witness back in 1998, we didn't get a clean verdict in the United States Senate. I'm going from memory here. I didn't look up these articles and the actual vote, but I remember this. The public never knew from each senator whether they believed that President Clinton was guilty of the various charges that were brought before him. All wrapped up in one question. If he's guilty, is he worthy of being removed from office? When you package those things together and you had Democrat senators defending Bill Clinton, they said, well, I didn't have to wonder if he was guilty because if he was, it didn't rise to the level to remove him from office. I'd like to know, and I think the public wants to know, and I think it is a constitutional duty of the United States Senate to give us a verdict. Did the president actually obstruct Congress? Did he actually abuse power? And what were the definitions of those things? They're not crimes. What were the definitions? Let's find out the judgment of these senators, yes or no, guilty or not guilty, and then the next question is, should he be removed from office? I say not. I didn't see the evidence here. I don't see any crimes, and there have been no crimes. And all it amounts to and also is in delaying these articles of impeachment, if the Speaker can block a majority action from the House of Representatives, the Speaker can block every action from the floor of the House of Representatives. It is not a sustainable position for the Speaker to refuse to message and have a de facto veto, because that would make the Speaker of the House all-powerful with a veto for any piece of action that would come through the floor of the House of Representatives. Let's get this done this week, and I encourage the Senate to get it done quickly. I'd like to see the President stand here before us at the State of the Union address February 4th and be able to announce to the world that he's been exonerated by the United States Senate. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the Chair declares the House in recess until noon today.